What's poppin', people? My name is Mo, friendly neighborhood music head, and yes, I just attempted a whoa. Today we're going to be talking about ERYS, which is Jaden's sophomore album. It's the follow-up to SYRE, which was his debut on Rock Nation, his debut album. It had the song Icon, which people loved. SYRE was pretty cool, but it wasn't great. It had a really strong 4 opening records with B, L, U, and E. I at least had never seen an artist put 4 songs back to back to back to back that all related to one another and like sonically transitioned within each and every song. And I felt like that was a really special moment in the project. Though SYRE had some songs on there that I still listen to this day, I kind of felt like he was wearing his influences on his sleeve. He sounded like Kid Cudi and a little bit of Kanye and some Drake and Kendrick and a lot of A$AP Rocky, and his individuality on it felt stripped. 9 months after SYRE came SYRE the Electric album, which was really an EP, but he took like 5 songs from SYRE. He like slowed them down. He put a reverb on his voice, added some electric guitars in the background, and just sang really like melodically and emotionally. And it was really a standout because, you know, I had heard Fallen back on SYRE, which was a really cool like melodic emotional track, but SYRE the Electric album felt like it was really like emotional and raw with a lot of his vocals and a lot of the screaming notes that he was coming out with on things like Fallen and 90 on there. Some of the lyrics were just like really heartbreaking. A couple months later, he put out the Sunset tapes, the Cool Tape Story, something like that. You know, it was kind of all over the place sonically, and like I'm just going to skip over that because there wasn't really anything unique on that whole thing. Now, in July 2019, we have ERYS. And at first, looking at the track list and the cover, I really felt like he was just going to try to mimic SYRE. You know, looking at the track list, you had PINK, which looks a lot like BLUE on the previous one. And the outro was titled ERYS, just like the previous one was titled SYRE. So PINK sounds the same way as BLUE with the Willow Smith poem and transitioning 3 songs, and the last one being the climax. And it doesn't really get good until that climax with K. And, you know, I understand the whole idea, like blue and pink make the pastel skies that he loves in all of his covers and everything. But, I don't know, it just kind of really felt forced. Going forward, I realized that ERYS was a unique project. It was a really cool mix of some energetic raps and his really emotional tracks. Noise is a definite standout track. I think that'll probably be released as a single if it isn't already. It's a fun hype track. You know, Jaden has some cool flows on there. There's a Tyler Creator verse, and that'll bring in a whole lot of his fans. There's a really cool climax moment where Jaden's like doing some melodies throughout the song, and then like he weaves it in the end, and it goes in a cappella and comes back in with the beat in the end. Like, it's a really cool track. Mission is another dope, energetic track. Just like Noise, I feel like this one can really have another mosh pit going. It's cool that Tyler and him are going on tour together because I think he'll be really good with like these 2 songs and a couple others, like getting the crowd really hyped with these. And then Tyler coming out with his Igor album, like that. I'm realizing now it's going to be a really cool tour. But with this, like, I think Trinidad James's verse, it was really unexpected, but it works very perfectly in the end. Like, I kind of mistook him for like Kid Cudi vocals, surprisingly. So ERYS has a lot of rock experimenting on here. You know, at first when I'm hearing Fire Department, I'm like, what are we doing here, Jaden? And by the end, I'm like, wait, he can actually do this. You know, and dare I say I hear some like Death Grips influence on here. You know, but Jaden holds his own with a lot of the percussion and guitars in his backgrounds. There's also the outro track, ERYS. I think the first like 2.5 minutes is another percussion one. And it's not as good as Fire Department or the other rock and roll songs that I'm going to get to. But, you know, you're really starting to see him like experimenting with his sound. It's not like he's taking a carbon copy like the previous album did. I think my biggest takeaway for this Jaden project is that he's really good at making like what me and my friends like to call sad boy music. Like, Summertime in Paradise is a fantastic track. You know, him harmonizing like brother and sister with Jaden and Willow going back and forth. I think it's a really dope track. But you can almost, at least in my interpretation of the song, I get the vibe that it's not that he's with this person that he wants to be with and, you know, it's summertime to fall in love and everything. It's more like, this is what I want. Like, this is what I'm longing to have. Like, that emotion is what I don't have yet, but I'm trying to get to. And so I get more of like a sadness vibe from it, even though it's really like an upbeat and satisfying track. His emotional screaming on Blackout is another incredible moment in this whole project. The lyrics like, she still has my heart, I only think about you in the dark, and how could you let this all fall apart? Like, I hope you don't relate to that. And like, it's really saddening, and it's hard to hear, but like, if he didn't have those guitar and like the drum set behind him, like, I don't even think he could have expressed those emotions in the way that we received them. There's also the song Riot, which has a lot of emotional moments in it. And I don't think it's as great of a song as a lot of the previous ones. But, you know, the I can't breathe when you're not with me, like screaming that over and over again. I'm starting to question his like emotional state currently. And I know he's trying to say that, oh, SYRE and ERYS are two different people, and these are just like narratives he's trying to build. But like, there's a lot of like raw emotion throughout this whole thing. I mentioned the outro ERYS before, but the second half of it is another like really well executed sad song. Him saying like, she said I don't need your love, I need somebody else. Like, that's like the bottom of the barrel in terms of like emotions you'd want to feel. There's not many lyrics throughout that whole track, and he's singing it constantly over and over again, but you can just feel the pain in his voice, sadly. But it makes for some great sad boy music, because it's a whole lot of our generation who is sad as hell, and they need music like this to get them through the day. And I'm really glad that he put this out and got so emotional with it. And I freaking hope he's okay, man. Overall, I really liked this project. I think something that isn't really being spoken of enough is the fact that Jaden dropped Smith from his stage name. And like, there's not many last names in the world that are so synonymous with people that like America and the world loves. Like, everybody loves the Smiths. Everybody loves Will, Jada, Willow, and Jaden. And the fact that he dropped that from his stage name and he's just going off his name, you could see that he's really putting trust in his individuality and his ability to market himself without using that name. And it's something great to see, because he drops the Smith last name and he puts out this project that is really unique in a lot of the emotions that are being given out. There's a fair amount of experimentation throughout this whole thing, but he's also doing what he does well with like the sad melodies and lyrics, and also the trendy rap and like the really energetic raps that he has been doing throughout his whole career. So I think I'm giving this project like an 8.7 out of 10. I'm seeing a lot of people actually not liking it. There's like a 50-50 split through Twitter. Like, half of the people are saying, yo, this thing's amazing, and the other half is saying like, yeah, there's like 2 tracks I like and everything else is just like annoying and boring. So this isn't the best thing I've ever heard, but it's a really good project and I definitely recommend. But, you know, let me know in the comments what you really think of it. Like, am I tripping or not? Like, just let me know. You know, like and subscribe it up. And yeah, thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. So catch you guys later. Peace.